Hello there folks, and thanks for joining me at my bench once again. This time around I'm going to tie you up a good old fly that's been around many years, the red tag. And I'm going to tie the dry fly version here, and also I'm going to tie you up the wet fly version as well. So I thought you might like to see these here put together. So it's a good old classic fly that simple to tie, but it's one of those simple flies that is very effective. So what we'll do is start with the dry fly version here. So I'll get this guy the vise, a fresh hook in, and we'll get started. And for the dry fly, I'm using a mustad 94840, and I'm going to tie it on a 12. A little bit bigger size for the video. We'll lock that hook down in the vise. And I'm using my Denville 6/0 in black for the thread for both flies. So we'll come back about a couple eye lengths behind the eye on this one here and start our thread base. Okay, we're going to come back to just about to the barb here. Okay, snip off our tag end of thread. Now the tail is just a piece of red yarn, and I combed the ends of it out there, so we have a nice thick bushy tail on it here. And we'll tie that in, then we'll cut the tail to length, a couple pinch loops, wrap that in nice and tight. Okay, now I'm going to snip off the excess here, but a little ways up on the shank here. We'll clip that out. Okay, then we'll tie that down. Alrighty, get that down well. Now I'm going to trim that there tail fairly short, just like so. Okay, now next step is the body, and it's peacock curl, of course. And I have 4 strands here, and I already clipped out the brittle tips, so we can tie this in here on my side. And we'll wrap back towards our tail till we're just about in front of it. Then I'm going to make my dubbing loop, as you've seen me do many times, to make a peacock rope. And we'll come back right to in front of our tail. Then we'll move that forward to where we want to tie off. Grab the herl and the thread. And some hackle pliers here, we'll clip on the end and start twisting that clockwise. Like so here. Alright, so we're going to bring that up around. Get our first wrap right in front of the tail here. Just like so. Then we'll wrap forward. Just keep good tension on it as you wrap, but don't pull too hard on it, because these ropes will break if you put too much tension. Okay, and we'll just keep wrapping forward here. Get a nice full body on it here. Okay, a couple more turns on the rope. I'll wrap that a couple more wraps. Okay, and I'll come up around. I'm going to tie it off. A couple wraps up around. Keep the thread snug as you go up around. Pull it. Get good thread tension back. Alright. Snip off our excess. Just like so. There we go. Okay. That's the body done, folks. Now, I'm going to wrap back on that a little bit farther, just to make sure it's locked in there good. Okay, then I'm going to wrap forward, make a little thread base before I tie in the hackle. Just find that better for wrapping your hackle on too. Alright, so that's what we got so far. Trim a little more off that tail there. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to use one hackle on this fly. One size 12 dry fly hackle. And I got that ready to tie in. You can use 2 if you want a fuller hackle, but I generally, a lot of times I'll just throw one hackle on it. Seems to work fine for it floating. Alright, tie that in. Concave side facing rearward, that's what I like to do. And we'll snip off our little piece of hackle stem at the front. Okay, so next I'll grab my hackle pliers here and we'll begin to wrap. We'll come down around here for the first wrap. Grab on the hackle pliers. Alrighty. So, oh, slipped out there. No big deal, just re-grip that. Okay. Now we're going. Okay, slipped again, so I'm going to switch pliers, folks. I'm going to grab these guys. There we go. Alright. Let's come down around. And we're just going to keep wrapping that forward. Just like so. Okay, looks good so far. Yeah, I usually try to get 5 or 6 wraps on, is plenty. Okay, that should be good right there. I'm going to tie that off. A couple wraps behind the hackle tip. Okay, and then I'm going to grab it and make a couple in front. Just like so. And that snipped off, well that's good. I just didn't, that saved me from cutting it out, so that's alright. Okay, I got one more stray fiber there. I'll snip out. Now we're just going to build a little head on the fly here. Make sure that tip's down there good and tight. Alrighty. There we go, folks. There's our hackle. You don't need a whole lot of hackle on these guys, I find. Now, I'm just going to make a whip finish here. He's a done deal. I'll get 5 or 6 turns here. Don't want to trap any hackle fibers down. Okay, come up. There we go. Seat the knot well. Now we'll snip off that excess thread. Alright, there we go. As you can see, it's not a heavily hackle fly, but like I said, you can add 2 hackles if you wish. I just like to keep it sparse on this particular fly. Alright, so there's the dry fly version, folks. I'm just going to take a little bit of lacquer on the sky and put a little on the head of it. The stuff soaks in really well here. Okay. Okie dokie. And that's the dry fly version. So, that guy's done. Very simple fly to tie. Okay, we'll take him out of the vise here. Set him aside. Next is the wet fly version. I'll bring in my wet fly hook, and this is a mustad 33.99 and a size 10 here. Alrighty. Okay. Now we'll start. I'm using the same thread, the Denville 6/0 black. We're going to start about hook eye length behind the eye on this one. Same deal. We'll make a thread base back about to the barb here. Snip off our tag end. Grab another piece of the wool yarn, and we'll tie that on top. A couple pinch wraps here. Wrap forward a couple wraps, trim off some of the excess. Secure that down well, just like so. Okay, trim our tail. There we go. Okay, next the same deal with the peacock herl. I'm going to grab my 4 strands here once again. Okay, tie that in on my side, wrap back, just about to the tail, form another dubbing loop, just like so. Okay, then wrap forward. Okay, grab the loop in the herl once again and twist up the rope. All the same steps, just the it's a wet fly version instead of the dry. Pretty much all the same steps. Okay, I'm going to get a wrap or 2 in front of that tail. just like so. Pull that nice and snug. Yeah, I want to twist this rope up a little bit more before I continue. Alrighty, now we're going to wrap forward, folks. Just like so. Get a nice full body on it. There we go. Okay, it's looking pretty good there. And it looks like one more wrap after this guy. Okay. Gonna tie that off. Couple wraps behind. Snug it down, then go forward. And back to lock it in. Snip off the tag end of the rope. And there's the body on our wet fly. Same deal. Alrighty, so now we're going to grab our wet fly hackle, and I'm just using it's just a cheap Chinese cock neck here and hackle, and I figure there's no need of using really expensive hackle on these guys. I mean, the fish don't really care what you're using, as long as it works. It's the main thing, I figure. Okay, so we're going to tie that in by the tip. I got the hackle fiber stroked back and the tip exposed there. We'll tie that in by the tip here, right on top. Go forward, then fold it back. That'll lock that hackle in place for you. Come in and grab that little tip there and just give it a little pull. If you can't pull it, you can just snip it out. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to bring my thread to the front of the, or just behind the eye rather. Okay, next I'm going to grab my hackle here again. Okay. Alright, so we want to come down around. Our first wrap here, folks, and stroke the fibers back as we go forward. And you only get about 3 wraps usually off these hackles. I'll come up, tie off that stem. Snug the thread tight again. Okay, release the pliers. Now I'm going to take my fingers and stroke everything back. Build a little hit on this guy at the same time. Alrighty, so there's our wet fly version. I just got to grab that little stem, pop that off. There we are. Done deal, folks. Pretty simple, this little fly, but like I say, it works. It catches fish. Just got one little fiber there I want to get out. If I can get a hold of it. Okay, I don't see it there now. I must got that. Okay. Alright, so now I'm just going to build a little hit on him here with a few more wraps. Just to smooth that head off a bit. Alright, that's fine. These are just going to be fishing flies, so I'm not going to be too picky. Now we'll make a 4 or 5 turn wet finish, 5 or 6, maybe 7. Come down, snug that, seat the knot real well. Snip off our excess. There we go, folks. There's the wet fly version. Now what I'm going to do is just put some, for the wet fly I'm going to use some Solar Res bone dry instead of the lacquer on this. I just like to have the glossy look on the heads of my wet flies. That's just for me, not the fish. The fish could care less, but I just like how the shiny heads look on wet flies. I think it looks good that way, but you don't need to use resin. Alright, now I just got to cure that up real quick here. Okay, it doesn't take long at all. There we go. Done deal. And that's the red tag wet fly. So, I hope you enjoyed this video this time around, and I just wanted to tie both versions for you. So, there's the dry and the wet. Not a lot of difference at all. Just pretty much just the hackle and, of course, the dry fly hook instead of wet fly hook. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. And if you haven't seen my videos before and you'd like to subscribe, this is the first time you've watched them, hit the good old subscribe button there and throw in a like too if you wish. And any comments, put them down below. So until next time, folks, let's see if I can get this here so I can show you them both at the same time. There we go. Anyway, until next time, folks, happy tying. Whoops, he sort of fell off there on me. That's okay. Until next time, happy tying out there. I'll see you all again soon, and so long for now, folks.